that. Sashi, when you take a look at comparative advantages, disadvantages, on the advantages side of the ledger, right? Democracy, India. Messy though it can be, as I'm sure you know, but still a democracy. To the demographics, very much favor India. Average age, what is it? I think 27.
27 right now. It's going up slowly, but nothing as fast as China's. Before we get, I think I know where you're going,
okay.
but before you go to democracy and demography, and I'm happy to address them, I did want to come back on this business of the Chinese model of development, because it's actually not true, Martin. I have spoken to so many African heads of state and government and foreign ministers the last 10 or 15 years. They admire China, they're grateful to China for the generosity of Chinese aid, but they do not think the Chinese model is replicable in their societies. They look on it as something in many ways impressive and awe-inspiring, but utterly foreign to them.
But not for
them. They cannot be China, they cannot try to be like China. They look at India and they say, now there's a mess just like us. They have the same sorts of problems, they have the poverty, they have the divisions, we may have clans, they may have castes. If they can triumph over these problems, we can learn from them. This is the message I'm getting considered. They don't believe they can learn from China, and I don't agree with Martin.
You're a
the point I'd like to emphasize is that the Chinese never consider themselves to be a model. Because the way the Chinese think is that they are always different. Chinese civilization is very distinct. So therefore, they don't have the kind of evangelist or missionary thinking of the West, of the Americans, you know, will be like us. Our constitution is a model for your political arrangements and so on. The Chinese don't think like that. So it's important to recognize that the Chinese don't have an idea of exporting their model. What I mean by that, and you know, you're right, in some countries it's not been relevant. But the countries, if they're looking for an example, look at China and think, well, is there anything that this can offer us?
Okay, now we can come back to democracy and demography.
So I was going to say, I mean, on the plus side of the ledger, demographics plus system of government, democracy. China, though, is just simply scale, the size of the place, number of people, etc. Plus their system, like it or not, they get things done. And you say what?
And look, between 1981 and 2011, the Chinese pulled 753 million people out from below their poverty line. If you took it at $1.90 a day, that's how many people crossed above that line. We have done, at best, and not for the whole 30 years, for about 15 years, we've done about 10 million people a year, so 150 million people. Smaller numbers in other years, so maybe we'll get to about 250 in the same time China got to 750. So we know the Chinese have done well, and I'm not knocking that. Democracy, why is democracy relevant? India is messy. I mean, you know, the Chinese they went from 0 kilometers of 6-lane expressways in 1996 to 150,000 kilometers of 6-lane expressways in 2016, 10 years. And they did it basically by drawing a line on the map and bulldozing anything in the path. Doesn't matter if it was a village, if it was an ancient cemetery, whatever, nothing. They did it, and they've created this magnificent infrastructure. In India, our entire national highway network is 92,000. Most of them are 4-lane, some of them are 2-lane that they call national highways. We hardly have any 6-lane expressways. And if you want to widen a 2-lane road in India, you will have protesters, you will have people refusing to sell you their land, they'll be going to court over compensation entitlements. The leftist parties will show up with red flags and hold dharnas and objections. Bollywood stars will come and conduct hunger strikes. Your road is not going to get widened for 4 years. And that's simply the way we are in India, right?
And you still would have the permit Raj as well.
Now that's on one side of it. However, it does mean that when change comes, everyone has been eventually brought along. It's been messy, untidy, it's been problematic, there's been dissent, but everyone comes along and the system moves. The liberalization of 1991 was a major paradigm shift. Since then, almost every single political party in the country, including one of the communist parties, has had a share in government, has been in one or the other government. Not one of them is reverse liberalization. China, what happens is, everything is a top-down repressive system. It's like a limousine of states that's going on cruise control on a 6-lane expressway. What happens if it suddenly hits an unexpected pothole? The axle might break. There are simply no bets as to what will happen if suddenly the politics gets out of control, if there's serious dissent, if there's serious unrest politically. India, the system allows you to find ways out. The pressure cooker has a safety valve. In China, we're not sure there is.